Alright, so nagbabalik tayo sa ating violin tips and tricks. And for today's video, I want to talk about having big hands and how it affects your playing, no? Especially sa violin, no? Kasi, as we all know, it's like a big problem for a lot of musicians na pag malaki yung kamay, parang hirap na sila tumugtog ng violin. Especially for the violinists out there, no? Kasi, when it comes to instruments daw, parang there is a notion that if you have big hands, you should play bigger instruments, no? Meron pa nga dati sa school namin na parang hand chart. Pinapakita yung types of hands for either if you're playing the violin, ano dapat yung optimal, no? Na itsura ng kamay mo. If you're playing the viola, if you're playing the cello, if you're playing the bass, no? So, looking at my hands, yan. So, when we see that finger chart or hand pattern na nandun sa school namin before. Yung kamay ko daw is for playing either cello or bass. Why? Kasi daw malapad, no? I have stocky fingers, no? Mataba yung daliri ko, and I have big palms. So, that means that my hand is optimal for those instruments. Pero paano yun? Nag-violin na ako no? Of course, it's just a guide, no? So, for example, na nakalagay doon, if you're gonna play the violin, your hand should be thin and long. Ganun daw. No? So, that's optimal for being a violinist. For violists naman, long fingers and the gap between your ring and pinky finger should be wide. No? For extensions, no? So, it's for use cases naman talaga. So, it's more optimal. But it doesn't mean that you can't play whatever instrument you want. No? Especially kung matagal ka na nag-violin. Like me, for example, I've been playing for over 20 years na. No? And nakasanayan ko na lang din siguro. Pero may makikita rin naman tayong mga violinists. Like, when it comes to big hands, si Perlman agad yung pumapasok sa isip ng mga karamihan, no? So when we see his hands, it's not really a hindrance, no? You just have to work around with these things, no? So pag-uusapan din natin today on adjustments that you can actually make in order for you to be able to play in a level na kaya nyo pa rin siyang patunugin na maganda, even though your hands may be of a hindrance, no? So let's first focus on the bow hold. Yeah, so a lot of people with big hands tend to have a hard time holding the bow. Parang they feel that they're constricting it so much. No? I've seen a lot of people, especially for beginners, having a hard time. Paano ba natin nahawakan kasi ang laki ng kamay ko, I'm taking up too much space, no? But the thing is, you don't have to worry that much when it comes to the bow hold. As long as your contact points are okay, mas madali mo siya mahawakan. So, a thing that you should consider is that you should be close to the bow. No? Kasi yung iba akala nila, because their hands are big, they can just go farther away. And the farther away they can go, parang mas normal yung nakikita. Kasi with people with regular sized hands, parang hindi sila masyado malapit. But the thing is, kaya sila ganun yung itsura kasi maliit yung kamay nila. No? So, you can just make sure that your contact points are correct. Even though may mga overhanging na parts ng kamay natin, okay lang yan. That would be totally fine. Especially if your fingers are overhanging. No? Minsan lumalagpas na ganyan. No? So, that is totally fine. No? Especially if you have long fingers. But the thing is, contact points matter most. So, make sure your contact points are good and everything else will follow. No? Wag nating isipin na dahil mas malaki yung kamay natin, dapat mas malayo yung contact points. No. Why? Because, again, our fingers don't have enough muscles in them. Or, I think wala talagang muscles sa fingers natin to be able to control the bow. So, kung ilalayo mo yung contact point mo, just because your hands are bigger, it doesn't mean that they are more powerful at that point. No. We have proper contact points for proper leverage of using our bow hands. So, make sure that you just follow. Kung meron man sumobra dyan na medyo nag-hang loose, that's fine, no? Just leave it there and just make sure that you're holding it properly. Okay, now, the biggest challenge is really with the left hand, no? Especially for those with stocky fingers like mine. Kasi yung iba na mahaba kahit malalaki yung kamay, it's totally doable. Lahat ng pwede mong gawin, nagagawa talaga, madali lang. No? The main problem is when it comes to intonation in high positions. Yan. So ano ba yung nangyayari? Dahil yung violin has a short neck and short fingerboard, of course, the intervals in between those notes are very, very small. So, malaki yung chance na magbago yung tunog ng pinipress down mo. Oh, if you're stopping strings. For example, kahit nasa first position pa lang, di ba? If your hands are really, really stocky like mine, no? Mataba talaga yung kamay ko. When I press down, for example, A1. Now that my hand position is like this, no? Pero, pag ginalaw ko siya, if I move it back just a little bit, no? Igaganon lang natin. Nag-iiba na agad, no? So, just small movements can really affect your intonation, even at lower positions nga eh. So, kahit igalaw natin ng inabante lang natin ng konti. So, my movement was this. Yan lang. Very, very small. Yung pabalik, ganun lang. Pero ang laki agad na naapektuhan kasi malapad yung surface area na tinatamaan doon sa strings. Making it, those movements, parang mas malaki yung nagiging effect nila when it comes to intonation. You could actually use this, no? To your advantage, especially if you're playing high notes, no? For example, if you're gonna play high notes na tabi-tabi, of course, you can't do it like mahirap siyang gawin pag masyado ng dikit-dikit since your fingers are actually pretty big, no? Yung semitone na akala mo semitone lang yung pagitan becomes a whole tone na, especially if you're going high, you know, 5, 6, 7 position, iba na yung magiging tunog na. So, you can use that to your advantage. You can actually play 3 notes with 1 finger, no? Parang, so hindi ako masyado gumalaw. I just move my fingers. Angle lang ah. I'm still pressing on the same position, but with the angle is different, the intonation is different, no? So you can also move up. So you can use that to your advantage instead of having this problem na parang hindi ko siya tamaan. So, with 1 finger, you can do more notes, no? And use that to your advantage nga, no? For fingerings that are quite tricky, no? Kung may mga scale-wise pattern that you don't really need to move a lot. So, pwedeng 1, 1, or 3, 3, or bago ka pa mag-shift, di ba? So, you can cover more ground, no? But of course, that would need a lot of practice and experience for you to really find out kung paano ma-manage yung intonation when it comes to those high positions. Okay. Another thing you might be concerned about is your proper bow hand position naman sa lower positions, no? How can you be at a position na hindi awkward, no? Because sometimes you see a lot of people parang malayo na yung fingers nila, especially if they have big hands. Parang awkward kasi tignan, di ba? So, what ends up happening is, if you have stocky hands or fingers like mine, pero malapad yung palm area, you would want to bring it closer, no? Again, when we talk about stopping strings, no? We want the fingertips to be at an optimal position for you to stop your strings effectively, no? Para mas maging efficient yung stopping power na. No? So, you want to be able that your fingertips can touch the fingerboard, no? Easily, no? Walang magiging problem, hindi na kailangan iangat-angat. So, if you have short fingers, you want to be closer, but your hand will not permit that. Kasi, if you will hold it normally, ganyan siya kalayo. Ang layo niya, di ba? For you to be able to reach. So, what you can do is lower down your hand. How do you do that? By raising your thumb. So, iniikot lang natin. So, para tayong may pulley system right here. No? So you could lower your hand by raising your thumb. In turn, mas malapit na yung fingers natin sa fingerboard. So it's easier to stop. Okay, so if you have long fingers naman, you would do the opposite. So instead of raising your thumb to lower down your hand, you would want to lower your thumb and raise your hand. Kasi sometimes when people have long fingers, ang nangyayari, gumaganito na siya. No? The fingers would go to the side because hindi sila makapwesto ng tama. No? So your fingers tend to go like this. What happens is, hindi na optimal yung pag-press. The way you stop the strings isn't optimal anymore. So what you want to do is, again, you would want to lower your thumb so that your hand would be on top. No? So kapag nag-press ka, nasa ibabaw. Because that's what we want. We want our knuckles to be controlling our fingers so that our pressing or stopping of the strings is efficient and needs less effort. No? So yun yung isa importante doon. So again, if you have fat fingers, lower down your hand. And if you have long fingers, lower down the thumb. So paikot lang siya na ganun. And try to experiment with it para hindi ka mahirapan, no? When it comes to positioning your hands. Yan. So if you have big hands, you know what to do, no? Relax, kasi it doesn't mean that you can play the instrument. It's just that there are things you need to adjust in order for you to play it better and more efficient. Yan. So if you'd like this video and you'd learned something new, drop a like, comment down below more content you'd like to see, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out all my content. My blog is out, no? Usapang Musiko Vlogs. Check out my blog posts there. And also check out my music on Spotify and all major music platforms. My course on Udemy is still available. All links down in the description box below. Again, this is Ryan Monakil for Violin Tips and Tricks, and I'll see you on the next video.